International Affairs editor Armin Georgian, who can join us now in the studio. Armin, now people have described this as a sort of fence-mending trip. Bring us up to date. Why has it hit rock bottom in the minds of many analysts?
Well, it started with a protocol issue, really, last summer when Angela Merkel declined a U.S. request for Barack Obama to speak by the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin, saying that wasn't appropriate because he was not then yet elected as U.S. president. So that created a bit of tension. Then last March, much was made of her decision not to go to Washington but to have only a video conference with Barack Obama. So there have been a couple of protocol-related issues, but behind that really was also a much deeper malaise about how the two countries were approaching the economic crisis. It wasn't only a bumpy personal relationship, but also the fact that the German administration was fiscally very conservative, didn't want to spend more money on stimulating the German economy, and the Americans seemed to feel that Germany was not really, paying up to its responsibilities there. The Americans were, of course, and still are, interested in spending money to get America out of the recession, while Germany was quite on a different wavelength. And then, in general, you have a sort of sense of neglect, which is not restricted to Germany, but the fact that the Americans are so busy with other things, with the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, with General Motors, that perhaps they were, in a way, taking European allies for granted, and so they didn't really have the kind of representation in international talks that the Germans might have wanted. For example, they only sent a relatively low-ranking official to deal with the Opel problem to Germany when the parent company, General Motors, was going bust in the United States. So there was a sense that, Americans were not really taking the Germans quite as seriously as they might have.
Now, that might have raised eyebrows indeed. Now, it's a short trip. What does the US president realistically aim to achieve here?
I think basically to show even-handedness between European allies, meeting Angela Merkel today, saying that the relationship is strong despite perceptions to the contrary, and the same with Nicolas Sarkozy in the coming 2 days in Paris, because he too has had some problems getting access to Barack Obama and maybe feeling a little bit of the neglect that the Germans have apparently been feeling.
Armin Georgian there, our International Affairs editor on Barack